the concept I want to paint to you is 1861, dealing with the Civil War and all this type of stuff. You know, they gave us a story that people were going to the Union to in order to gain freedom from slavery, stuff like that. And to be honest with you, that's not 100% true at all. Well, I ain't gonna say at all, but the way they're telling it, it ain't true. All right, because I come to understand that a lot of the cities were being burned at that time, and therefore the homeowners and business owners and people like that had to seek refuge. And the places where the Union Army was, it's the same places where these fires were erupting, right? So it lets me know the war was basically on was it the war was an attack on infrastructure. All right. So that's basically what I'm gonna be proving throughout this process and how everything ain't adding up the way it's being told. All right. So I got Andrew Jackson right here for some reason. I want to say Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is one of the people that started wreaking havoc on the South, in Florida and all that, Georgia and all those places, right? But I don't know what the reference is in it right now. That is 1829 to 1837. All right, so okay, that's what I wanted to show. So this one here I wanted to show. So in 1861, this guy right here, James Buchanan, was the president, and then Abraham Lincoln became the president in 1861. So basically, this guy was leaving out, the John Buchanan guy, and Abraham Lincoln came in at 1661. So you see what I'm saying already? So you trying to tell me the same time this man became president, the Civil War ended up taking off? So did the Civil War start before or after his presidency? So the same day, again, the same day, right? You become president, or the same year, you have a civil war in the same year. Okay, so let's keep going. See what else I got. Say history of the Southern United States. I got Southern United States right here. Say presidents. Okay, that's when I was looking at the presidents and shit. Doing 16. Okay, all right. They say during 1860 and 1861, 11 Southern states seceded from the Union. All right. So it's basically saying that these states seceded. So it's saying they were at first a part of the Union. And it says forming the Confederate States of America. So when they broke off, they became the Confederate States of America. So peep that, which is not even exactly true. So that makes me have to go into the origin of the Union and how that started. But we know the breakup had something to do with the Boston Tea Party and all that type of stuff, taxation. They went without the taxation that they were doing, taxing the products and shit like that. You know what I mean? And so they started breaking up. So let me keep going. So the Civil War started in 1861. And it just so happened to stop in 1865. At the same time, Abraham Lincoln was president. They said it was in April. March, April. So the Civil War started after Abraham Lincoln was president. So it said March, right? So he's president. It said March, right? But it said it started in April. Right before he was president, it started after. It started after. All right, so March, April. So the next month, it went down. So they say. And so they said they said the Confederate troops fired on Fort Sumter in South Carolina's Charleston Harbor. See, now when they say force and stuff like that, we automatically think cannons and all that type of thing. But I know in one case, we had Fort Monroe. It's technically a city, or fortified city, like a trading post, basically. Let me say it like that. A trading post. All right. I'll say less than 34 hours later, Union forces surrendered. Huh? Who surrendered? Union forces. They said traditionally this event has been used to mark the beginning of the Civil War. So they burnt down all the buildings and all that. That's what happened. But it says that the Union forces surrendered. In that case, right? And it's from the U.S. Senate, I suppose. So the main focus is 1861, y'all. That's basically, that's the real reason why I'm doing this. Hold on, too much 1861 shit going on. What the hell going on? All right, so it's back to the Civil War when it began again for something that stuff. Okay, right. Okay, so the Great Charleston Fire of 1861. So you try to tell me why they separated? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. If it's a civil war going on, why they ain't just saying it was just a civil war and they burnt the buildings down and blew the buildings up? If that's what's going on. I think it was civil chaos because of this fire. I think the Union Army or whoever was running around burning up the city and caused people to flee. So listen, say the fire burned over 540 acres, 575 homes, numerous businesses, and 5 churches. They say the cost in property was estimated to be between $5 million and we'll tell how much else. I ain't trying to go into the details, super details, right? Hard bullet points. So let you know they had a fire. Another thing I want to show, though. I want to show some of these pictures and all these images. Why is it that you're going to see Negroes when you see a person in the picture? Hold on, let me see if I can find one. Like this one, for instance, was a pretty famous one. A lot of people always look at. All right, first of all, the first thing you see is a Negro. I wonder why. Huh? What you see? See Negroes right here, the Negro children. See all this stuff? The buildings were attacked. And the people were trying to protect their property. Let me tell it, Negroes built all this. You understand what I'm saying? And these are some of the kids from the aftermath looking at this shit like, man, what the fuck? Or like, damn, my parents, where they at? All right. Why we see Negro kids? What's actually being said there? Okay, so let me go back and see if I see any more pictures with a Negro or two in it. I screenshot a couple, but I ain't gonna try to go back and find that. Hope I can pull this one up a bit. Let's see. More Negroes standing around looking like, man, they done fucked that shit up. Look at how they look. They looking like people that owned this stuff, not no slaves now. Looking like, man, look at here. They look like people in despair. Look at the man right here with his hand on his hip. See him? Like, man, this some shit. All that work we put in. Look at this place. It's destroyed. We got to leave, man. We got to go somewhere else. Basically, we got to forget all about it and go. So look at the architecture of this, man. Look at this, man. Jealousy is what happened. I'm telling you right now. Look at that. And I mean, when I say destroyed, destroyed. It is like amazing how it even look at this. And look, how the hell all that shit get out of there? You know what I mean? I ain't really get it. How it can get blown up like that, fucked up like that. It's a hell of a bomb on the inside, but you see how the motherfucker still standing up on frame of built to last, man. I'm just saying though, it's crazy. So I'm just saying it's ironic that the people you see sitting around, standing around and being around this is Negroes. So let me see if I can find another picture. Yeah, man, sick. Just the things that make you say, all right. Let me see if I can find another picture with somebody in it. This might be a cracker here. Trying to make it big. Let me see. I'm gonna have to do it like this here. All right, now when you look at this here now, this type of soldier or whatever, like he down there still got some kind of mix in him. But you see this Negro. And you see he grabbing got some of his belongings. I don't know what this is, like an old wagon or something. Probably carrying it around with him. Probably somebody who's trying to show who shit this is. But they just lean on it, I guess. But you get the same look though. Like, look at what they did to our place. Like, look at this, man. So this is a shame. That motherfucker there like he down there look guilty and sad. Nigga looking like like he looking at his ass like I ain't gonna say what I think he thinking. But yeah. See that too, man. See that like he looks like a civilian, you know what I mean? Like in on a mission. Some type of agent or something. Playing like he's sympathetic. All right. Let's see what else we can see. Let's see. I don't know who all these folks are. Saying the fire though under it. I don't know what art they got going on for this. They ain't showing that picture though. I don't know. Preview. I don't really want to preview this shit. Let me just see what it said right quick for the preview. Because it said Moses Henry Nathan and the great Charles Fire 1861. Whoever that is. Have a credible referenceable energy. It said 1861 was a decisive year for Charleston, South Carolina. So decisive, right? It said the bombardment of Fort Sumter that ignited the Civil War occurred in April, and a scant. I want to make this bigger. Yeah, see the shit. There we go. It said bombarded of ignited the Civil War. Okay, scant 8 months later, right? And a scant 8 months later, on December 11th, the city was devastated by a cataclysmic fire. It swept in southwesterly direction from Hazel Street at the eastern Cooper River, the Cooper River boundary city across the peninsula to Ashley River. Over 540 acres and nearly 600 private homes were destroyed, along with church and the buildings that had recently hosted the secession convention and the ordinance that dissolved the Union. Okay, hold on. That might be one of those buildings they were staying at. They said the session convention, right? It said, my bad, they didn't get an actual name of the church. Say 600 private homes were destroyed. Notice they said private homes for some reason. And they said along with churches and the buildings that had recently hosted. Buildings had hosted the secession convention. What is the secession convention? And the signing of the ordinance that dissolved, that means dissipated or whatever, right? The Union. That's what it sounded like it's saying to me. It said one witness to the fire was General Robert E. Lee, who was in Charleston at the time, inspecting the city's defenses. Okay, so it's like Robert E. Lee, y'all know he's for the part of the Confederate or whatever, and others might know by now that he is presumed to be a black guy. You know, so yeah, that sounds about right. But even if you're a white guy, whatever. But the point is that he was there on the defense level, as if he must knew they were about to be attacked, right? So, yeah, just want to note that though. For the one to do a little due diligence, you will see that he probably was a black guy anyway. And he wasn't no joke. And it says he was in Charleston at the time, inspecting the city's defenses. Say he was quartered at the Mills House Hotel, which was saved from the flames by the staff covering its walls and roof with blankets. So that one was saved. So he should be able to pull up the Mills House Hotel. And it's interesting the word Mills popping up because something that has nothing to do with this was a meal. Like that's something. All right. It says the 1861 fire was the largest and most destructive in the city's history, and its effects were visible for generations. Okay, its effects were visible for how long? Generations, not one generation. So that's like then 100. That's like 100 years or two. It say after the peace, in the popular imagination, the war and the fire became linked. Photographers came to the town to document the ruins of the city and often misattributed the destruction of the 1861 fire to the siege of the city that began in 1863. and lasted until the Confederates abandoned Charleston in February 1865. So there was an offshoot of Confederates, right? All Confederates were not the same, just to let y'all know that. There was a sect of Confederates that branched off and started causing havoc. And I think this was the ones that was agent provocateurs type shit. And I think they was the one taking advantage and under the disguise of Confederates to burn cities down and shit. That's what I think was really going on, to be honest with you. Okay, it said Confederates abandoned Charleston in February 1865. Said travelers came too and spoke of the proud city that lies humbled in its ashes. That's a bad city, man. It said too poor to rise again without the helping hand of the northern capital. Okay? What it said, it's a humbled in the ashes, too poor to rise again without the helping hand of the northern capital. And it's interesting that they put capital in there. So like capitalists, the northern capitalists, sent a mission down to the south to destroy the infrastructure so that they can come run into them and need their help and assistance like they did with the refugees deal and all that, like I'm telling you about. Turn our people into refugees, seeking refuge, putting us under wages and all this type of stuff to come help to help us rebuild our own shit in some cases. Man, oh boy. Okay, it says after the peace in the popular imagination, okay, if we talk about okay, it said northern capital, right? And so we were like, okay, we wonder what the northern capital was. I think it was in New York at that time. It says since that faithful year of 1861, scores of volumes have been written on the firing on Fort Sumter and the start of the war in April. But very little has been written on the December fire. Okay, so there was another fire. The reason is lack of documentation. All right, so y'all see what's going on with that. So there were there were some interesting things to follow up on to support the legitimacy of this article and what was going on, and that'll be the secession convention. And what else was it? The Mills House Hotel, and some of I just saw. I just seen some of it was the Northern Capital. All right. So now, what do I have here? So it's that same burning deal, right? And you peep game. That's another Negro. See the Negro? Yeah, you see the Negro. Another section. But shit burned down, probably was his house or something. It's like he's standing on his house, his lot where he had his fireplace and all that shit. Standing on his goddamn property. Yeah, this stairs had a big nasty ass house. That's what it's looking like to me. It's probably this little section here was probably his shit. Like a little island down there, huh? But anyway, you see all these bricks and shit, man, it's all from the building. That's crazy. I don't know, man. Something strange, man. Something strange is going on. What kind of shit did this up? And you don't really see no fire, no burns. So they keep talking about fire, but I don't see no goddamn nothing burnt up. I don't know what the hell happened. But I do know, seems like the Negroes are the only one in the spell. I don't know if no slaves would be in the spell like that. All the people had to go to the north for refuge, like it was just saying. They had to go to the capital city. And it's before 1865. Okay. Yeah, I see it. I hope y'all enjoying this bill, man, on the information tip. Let's see. Fuck with this popped up right now. I'm gonna get this shit off. Here we go. But I don't think I'm gonna read this here. You know what? I wonder if y'all gonna be able to hear this if I play it.
Long weekends are all about getting a little you time. And at the Home Depot, you time starts with you saving space with an HDX 27-gallon tub for only $13.98. Saving time with a free and fast-charging 18-volt battery.
I probably better got my shit scrubbed.
Power toolkits. And saving you a trip with free delivery on over 1 million items.
Add shit. Let me get my other pop before you're gonna fuck around and struck my shit.
August 1861 burning of Hampton foretold ferocity.
That's all right. But yeah, y'all want to go read it? Go to the 1861 burning of Hampton foretold ferocity of the Civil War, right? And hey, this for education purposes only. Just in case y'all want to try and strike my shit for no reason at all. Playing what's on the broadcast or network. But my bad if I did something I had no business, so that's why I stopped it. All right, but for educational purposes only. Talk about 1861 bullshit going on. Excuse my French for the kids out there. But anyway, all right, so a couple more pictures. Get the title of what this is. There's a whole lot of pictures going on. It say between bondage and freedom, life in Civil War, refuge camps. Big game, man. Refuge camps. All right. So understanding that these people are leaving from fights and stuff, like I'm telling y'all about, playing them like they were runaway slaves, which they were not. And if they were, you runaway slaves, like meaning they were slaves to their own family. So yeah, they all they all not running away, but yeah, I guess you fuck right, they running away. Look at them damn buildings. You damn right. All of them probably was running like a motherfucker. Fuck y'all talking about. Playing word games, shit. Yeah, they were running away. And they were slaves to their own folks. To their own goddamn idea of life. Yeah, they were slaves to that service to their own cause. That's what y'all want to call them. But one thing you can't call them was broke back then. That's for sure. They had it going on. Y'all motherfuckers hate it. There ain't no goddamn slave. But anyway, I'm finna go off that. Don't get me started, but that's one picture. Another picture. Look at that nice highs. Let me read about Mary Armstrong right quick. Miss Mary. Read about Miss Mary real quick. Her nice highs. You understand me? Look at that. Look at the infrastructure. It said in 1863, newly freed from bondage and living in St. Louis, 17-year-old Mary Armstrong did the unthinkable. She journeyed to the slaveholding South. Okay, what she did, they say she journeyed to the slaveholding South when she was 17 years old. Okay, they said she was newly freed. You know what I mean? And so she started living in St. Louis, and it was in 1863. It just making sense now. It's a whole Civil War going on, like they saying, but she finna go right into it. I guess she did. I don't know, but that don't sound right to me. Something sounds strange about that. And then when they say slave holding South, again, I already explained what that means. Right? Slaves holding the South, goddamn it. That's how you want to say it. Mm-hmm. Like a holding company. Yeah, we're holding it. We're holding. But anyway, that might be a little stretch of the imagination. But anyway, I say Armstrong, one of more than 2,000 former slaves who told their stories to the New Deal Federal Writers Project in the late 1930s, had been separated from her parents as a child when they were sold to other owners. Now, peep game. They got this. They got okay. She was born in 1863, right? Basically, but now she was born in 1863. But it's 1863. She was new free for Bunge or whatever, St. Louis, right? So she was 17 when she went to what you call. So she was born around what? I just round that shit off, so about 1840, right? Something like that. Born by 1840. So she don't really know a whole lot already now. And she just happy to get freed. Okay? And then they say 1930s is when they got this information from her. All right? And they said something about her being a child. They said Armstrong, 2000, slave New Deal Federal Project, 1930, separated from parents. All right, so it said she had been separated from her parents when she was when they were sold to other owners. Now you know, in the 1830s and shit like up until I don't know how long, right? It was the so-called what they call that shit. What they call it, that Andrew Jackson did. That's where he coming to play at. Oh, Andrew Jackson. He denounced all the treaties. Oh yeah, the Trail deal, right? So you had the Trail of Tears. It ain't tears where they ripped our families apart, ripped us off our land. You know, they were tearing things apart, right? So it's the Trail of Tears, not tears. All right, crying, kidding your ass, anything. But yeah, so you had that going on. I think that's what she was caught up in, and didn't even know it. But she was born around that time when it was still being removed and all that. But anyway, let's keep going. See what else it says though. Oh, it's a thing called the New Deal too. That did happen during that time, right? It's a New Deal's Federal Writers Project. What the hell? That sounds like a scam. Say Federal Writers. They just write up some shit. They had a whole goddamn federal operation to write up something. They say in the late 1930s, which they were doing because they were going to get the stories or whatever from people they don't even know, from children that didn't really know what was going on, and they doubling down on it and probably telling them what to think and all that. Most of them didn't even speak English, to be honest with you. Not the English that we speak, let me put it that way. They didn't speak proper English because they stole our languages and put it into their vernacular in order to understand what we were saying. That's how you get proper English. The improper English is the true language. That's the native language, the Aboriginal pure language. Raw, no cut on it. But when you make it proper, you cut it up, you know what I mean, slice it up, make it digestible, that type of thing, right? All right. So it's a project in the light, okay, 1930, separated from parents, when they sold to the owners. To the grain of salt. It said Armstrong learned through the grapevine that her kin might be in Texas. So she said in her interview, away I going to find my mama. See, this is what I mean by where we spoke. We won't say going, going. That's how he said. But they try to hit you with, look at that slave talk, educated, that proved that it was a slave and this and this and that. Nah, they don't prove nobody no slave because of the way they talk. It does not. It say with the Civil War raging, she set out with 2 baskets full of food and clothing and a small amount of money, traveling more than 1,000 miles by boat and then stagecoach to Texas. So it's traveling 1,000 miles on a boat. That's about 16 hours, something like that. Then she jumped on the stagecoach. They say in Austin, she was captured and put up for bid, securing her freedom only at the last minute by showing her papers to the Texas official in charge of the auction. So she was about to be auctioned off. She got snatched up in Austin, and then she had to flash some papers and say, get your motherfucking hands off me," type thing. And so they still try to imply that it was slavery going on, though. All right. Or was she being snatched up to be a worker? And they thought she had to slipped off or something like that. Got no paperwork to show that you ain't supposed to be over here where we at. Then we're gonna finna add to the pot. You know, just I don't know. I'm just saying. Gotta take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. It could be just adding shit on this hill. But I guess all this here coming from the Library of Congress. It said Armstrong eventually found her mother in the city of Wharton, 750 miles south of Austin, at a refuge camp for African Americans. Right. First of all, we know then they weren't calling us no African Americans because they started calling us African Americans with Jesse Jackson in 1980s. You understand that? So first of all, it's already capped when they get to talking about African American and shit. First thing I want to point out. And then I want to point out too that they say a refugee camp. So like the same kind of camp they're about to put her in a camp. But she was like, "No, I don't need no camp. I know where I live. I'm good. I got somewhere to stay." She free. Not in destitute, not in refuge. Oh, because when they crossed them Union lines and they were snatched up or whatever, that's basically what they were. They were snatched up. You know, and once they got across there, looking like they're going to get help, but they really got thrown into bondage. That's what they did to them. Let them go back to their town. They wouldn't let them go back to the Confederates. They said, we wouldn't let them get a property back to them, whatever. But they said when they took them as basically like prisoners of war, so to speak. I forget the verbiage that they used, but they said something like what they said. What the motherfucker said. I can't remember. Hopefully I run across it as I'm going through this stuff. But they use a fly word. I think they want to say property or some shit like that. They use some fly ass word. They're trying to say that's where slavery began at right here. When it came across that goddamn line. All right, so it said Armstrong later went on. Okay, let me see. I think I skipped those shit. All right, say African Americans. I stop right there. Say Armstrong described the Union. Right, it say Lord me. Talk about crying and singing and crying some more. We should done it. You know, like that what she said when she had the reunion, right? It said she said, Lord, talk about crying. That sounds like some of our people talk about crying. You know what I'm saying? You know how we talk. And they say and singing and crying some more. Well, we should done it. All right. They say Armstrong later went on to become a nurse in the Houston area, saving numerous lives. Yellow fever epidemic in 1875. So way back in 1875 now, after they just gonna come up under the civil, what they call it, civil in 1865. 18 years, she already became a nurse. She doing her thing, and people let her save their lives. Yeah, is that right? So it lets you know there's already something going on way before 1865 that was already going on. You know what I mean? She didn't just jump off the porch and just know how to just do this nurse shit with the nurse. Come on, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. That's why I'm doing this, because something just ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Who that is? Who that is saying that? Keith Sweat or something right now? I think that's what it is. Something, yeah. Just ain't right. But yes, let's do this. So it said, okay, she went over there at 75. Now I say the camps. They say Cooper wrote about the camps in her 2015 PhD dissertation, and more recently in the Journal of African American History. They go to African American shit again. Said camp could hold anywhere from a few hundred to a few thousand, up to several thousand. Say most of them living in barracks and fabric tents or barracks. All right, it says some of the camps were set up by the Union. Some of them were set up by the Union, right? They say the first two in 1861 along the coast of Virginia and South Carolina, right? Along the coast of Virginia and South Carolina. That's what it had went down there. Like I said, when I saw them burnt up buildings and stuff like that. Yeah, it was Virginia. So that then you know the people from Virginia and the people from South Carolina are the ones that was had to run for refuge, and these so-called slaves they ended up entrapping and taking all their land and all that kind of stuff, and having them to come to join in to be a part of the Union and all other kind of stuff, right? The one that had ended up see because the Hampton University was built in 1861 as well in South Carolina in Hampton, Virginia. I mean, so yeah, man. So you're trying to tell me the school being built and all that during the Civil War? That's crazy. They even fancy. Nah, man. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. I know I'm just throwing a whole bunch of stuff together, but you know, it's just that serious. I'm just trying to make y'all have y'all to keep an eye on the main idea of 1861 and all this so-called stuff was going on, and how the Negroes wasn't as slavish as they try to make it seem like. You know, it seemed like they had their cities were attacked and was forced to go to seek refuge. Was forced to seek refuge from the north, the northern capital, like they had and stuff like that. Right. All right, bro. I think that's basically enough for this here. I'll show some more pictures down. All right, see, look. Yeah, let me keep on going because they about to show him that shit right now. They say a camp could hold anywhere to 1,000 that. They say South Carolina followed by others. Okay, listen, I stopped at Virginia, South Carolina. I didn't realize that was coming right. So remember I told y'all there's people from Virginia, South Carolina. They said followed by others in Kentucky and Tennessee and along the Mississippi River from New Orleans to St. Louis, Missouri. Come on, man. Along the whole goddamn Mississippi, basically, man. Where they run around, burning up these cities and shit like that, and people going up to the north for refuge, man. Y'all see what's going on? That's a whole lot of people out of all those cities. I mean, all those cities, all those states, rather, and all those states, and countless amount of cities within those states, people probably had to get somewhere and go into refuge. Okay, so y'all see what's going on here. All right, they say they were called contraband camps. That's what they was called. What it was called, y'all? Contraband camps. Huh? See, and then when you think about contraband is basically, if I ain't mistaken, contraband is like like I said, enemy, a person of war or something like that. You know, somebody fighting against you, and then you catch them, they become a contraband. When you catch a soldier or something like that. Yeah. That's what contraband is. There ain't no slave. What you talking about? What they be talking about? They say because free people were considered property confiscated from the South. Okay, that's why they call them contraband camps, right? And they said why would they call the people contraband? They said because what? Free people were considered property, confiscated from the South. What this, man, come on, man. Tell me what happened just then. So were the people from the South free or slaves? Which one were they? Right here it's clearly saying they was free. Well, I guess they're saying freed. But I thought they were freed until 1865. So I guess it should be saying free. But didn't think though. They said, let's just say they is trying to help they were slaves and they were freed slaves, right? Because they came across the line. But they say free people were considered what? Property. confiscated. So what are they calling you then? When they get a hold to you, they're calling you a confiscated property. Okay? And it says another group of camps located mainly in South Carolina. No, my bad. I went on to South Carolina. So shit right, North Carolina. They say another group of camps located mainly in the South behind Confederate lines was created ad hoc by blacks themselves. Was created ad hoc. With that? Okay, but whatever it is, it says that it was created by blacks themselves, and it says it was camps that was located back there. So they built up their own camps and stuff, and they call them the contraband camps. Remember, they said Cooper has posted an interactive map of the locations of the camps. You see what I'm saying? Boom. You see where all the camps is at. You can really go into some detail. Look at all those camps, y'all. Look at all those camps, y'all. Okay. So it say at a camp in Hampton University. It said at a camp in Hampton, Virginia, called Slabtown, huh? And later, the Grand Contraband Camp, African Americans built houses so sturdy, the Union later appropriated them to house troops. Okay, what they say? The Aboriginals built houses so sturdy. Huh? They know how to build houses real good because they were slaves. But people, gang, they're telling you that they built them cities too. That's what they're telling you. That's what they're telling you. That they knew how to build very well. They were very good masons and carpenters. Right? And it says, so they built houses so sturdy that the Union later appropriated them to house troops. So they kicked these folks out their houses to put troops in them, is what it sounds like to me. After they rebuilt now. In this place called Slabtown. Like they took Slabtown over. Okay. And later, the Grand Contraband Camp, African Americans built, right? And not only did they build it, they built their houses so sturdy that the Union came and took them. So you see how you can read through these people's shit and put what they ain't saying, what they is saying at the same motherfucking time. Fuck what they're saying. What is you not saying? It's crazy, huh? How they build houses that fast in the house? They said there were also 4 black schools in the camp. Already. See, for one of which became the future site of Hampton University. I was chopping up one of my brothers. I was trying to lace him up with this Hampton thing. He ain't hear me though. Right? They say one of the premier historically black educational institutions in the country. Brandeis is collaborating with Hampton on a scientific research to bring more underrepresented students into STEM fields. See, but Hampton had a major part in so-called civilizing the Negro into acculturating them into American culture. To learn the ways of the white man, so to speak, Because like I just said, all this stuff just got destroyed. So they've been forced into the work labor, the workforce as employees. Okay. They were used to help develop industry. Of course, we know that the industrial age began to roll out as well. All right. So life in the camps. It's a condition in many of the camps were squalid and disease was common. Black refugees lived in constant fear and terror of raids from Southern whites. So they still had to worry about raids and shit. Okay. They said at one point, the Confederate Army plundered and burned slave towns to the ground. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying about there was a different sect of Confederates that was doing what they were doing, but they tried to just leave it broad so that you would think that all the Confederates had part in this. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is COINTELPRO infiltration. That is my opinion. The whites also lived in the camps, most of them seeking shelter from war. They were treated differently from blacks. A rations list Cooper discovered was a camp in New Bern, ain't that some shit, North Carolina. They say it shows they don't want to hear all that shit, how they were doing blacks versus whites. Fuck all that. They said, despite the pretty hardships, whatever, okay, Cooper said for himself, 10% safe freedom. Okay, I'm even going into all the pseudo shit. I want to read out pseudo shit. The rest of some more pictures. Okay, these people that ran out from their shit. Okay, backing up in refuge. And these are coaches that they were talking about, like stage coaches. That's what these are, stage coaches. All right, let me just keep going down. Look at some more pictures. All right, you see some more. I see all the brothers, sisters, whatever. These Northern Yankees. All right. Got some niggas right here. Be looking like, damn, man, fuck. Type shit. Nigga like I don't really give a damn. Gonna make it, boy. That nigga there like a nigga tired as fuck, huh? Look at how you look at that nigga. That nigga there like he mad and frustrated in a bitch. Tired as fuck. That nigga here looking like your ass up, nigga. What you worry about? You shit. Still gonna do our thing, nigga. Ain't got a pot to piss in and want to throw that motherfucker out, nigga, but we gonna survive, nigga. Head of dumpster. It's all good. Gonna get these suckers. Don't let them see you sweat. Yeah, I'm just clowning. All right, we'll keep going down. See this short thing. That was all the pictures and shit. Y'all get the point. All right, then we get to Walker Plecker. This some bitch was born in 1861. Ain't that ironic? So I just wanted to point that out. That this some bitch was born in 1861 in Virginia. They're looking like, huh? All right, so then you got the Darwin deal, right? That's when Darwin started coming out doing this thing, trying to show how they started oppressing us and shit. Why, right? So you had the Darwin, for the people that don't know about the Darwin, the Darwin theory and all that shit. It's when they was trying to make it scientific proof that, and make a long story short, to make it scientific that blacks or people non-whites were dumber, keep it in layman's terms, dumber than white people. They were trying to put it to where we had more tendency to deal in the the criminal element of life, so to speak, incapable of learning as much and all that type of shit. It was a lot of racist undertone shit going on with that. I wouldn't necessarily say that Darwin was doing that because it was like the origin of species, basically, is what was going on. Origin of species, the evolution theory, all that shit comes out of the Darwin deal, right? You know, and so it was other people that got a hold to his work, and they used it to propagate racism, right? And so everybody just got behind it and they began teaching it in the universities and shit like that. There's a whole lot of shit going on behind it, man. All right, been a little minute since I went all the way through Darwin shit, but like I said, I'm trying to stick to the 1861 point. Okay? So they say the year 1861 marked an important change in the direction of Darwin's work. Okay, in the change in the direction of his work. They say by then he had weathered the storm that followed the publication of The Origin of Species and felt cautiously optimistic about the ultimate acceptance of his ideas, right? About the ultimate acceptance of his ideas. So cautiously optimistic. He was optimistic, but he was cautious. He didn't really know how he was going to lay it to the ass. It says as the year opened, he was hard at work on his study of the variations in domestic animals and plants, the first part of the more detailed exposition of the evidence for his theory that he had promised in the preface of Origin. But importantly, as it was to strengthen his case using the data he had compiled over 20 years, he had now wished to explore the applications of natural selection that were of most interest to him. So natural selection was of most interest to him. It's a tackling problems in natural history, both new and old. All right, man, can read all that shit. So you're going to natural selection and shit, which you know what's going on that they can lead to the evolution theory and shit. All right. So you got this thing called white manhood suffrage. I don't think it was exactly at 1861 or whatever, but I'm trying to let y'all know how obviously the Negroes were the one that probably owned all the land. If not, I don't know who the hell owned it. But it was like throughout the first half of the 19th century, free suffrage was the goal of men who believed that they did not need to own property to have an interest in the fortunes of their country, okay? Or to exercise sound judgment on its behalf. Y'all see what the shit called? It's called white man's suffrage. All right, and it was crying, saying, man, you shouldn't have to own no land in order to get rich around this bitch. That's what they were saying. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that is leading up to the Civil War and all this shit. It says they believe in unprivate fortunes of their own country, exercise sound judgment on its behalf, right? Well, let me read that last part. It says to own property, to have interest in its fortunes of their country, or to exercise sound judgment on its behalf. They agitated to change state constitutions. What they advocated to do? Change state constitutions. There's already a system set. And abolish property requirements for voting. So you couldn't vote if you didn't own property. So the white folks complaining, trying to put a law in place where they could start voting and shit, you know what I mean, even though they didn't own no property. Who owned all the property? Okay. The things to make you say, Who owned all the property? Right? So it say, but okay, so that's what they were trying to do, right? Get in the voting game. They say, this cane bearing their slogan was likely carried in parades. Some men in power shared their philosophy. Others found the growing power of the common man, right? These common people, the common man, white folks, the shifting American economy, and the need for new voters to support their own new political parties were compelling reasons to support the free suffrage. So some of the big wigs was like, man, shit, we're going to take advantage of this opportunity since they are already bubbling up anyway, in a way of keeping from jumping that pot. So we might well let the spillover come right on over here to us, help us develop our campaign, and so that we could take over. And I think that's how they got in. They would start taking over. I mean, the opposition, the ones oppressing everybody. That's how it got taken out of the rightful people's hands. Once they changed that law, as you can hear, they protested, changed the law, where all common people could vote, right? So therefore, you are a landowner. You would not consider a common, right? Hence commoner, hence colonists. All right, white folks. All right, you understand? So the land owners were the ones running the show. So that's why there was so much turmoil going on. Okay, this free suffrage came 1830s. And at the same time, we supposed to have the Trail of Tears. Where actually 1830s, when Andrew Jackson said he dismissing all the treaties. He ain't abiding by none of the treaties. Ain't that some shit? Okay. So I say something in the process, okay, free suffrage, okay, boom. I read all that. It said land grant to Nicholas Hilton. Land grant to Nicholas Hilton. It said owning property of a certain size of value was the earliest qualification for voters in the new United States. In the new United States. In some states, women and free African Americans were among those voters. See how they try to downplay it? Do you see how they try to downplay it? All right, but as we can see, again, the African American shit. We're no African American back then. American democracy. They say World Wars I and II focused American attention on the gap between the nation's assertions of democracy and the discrimination faced by women, African Americans, and other minorities. Voting rights became civil rights. What happened? Voting rights became rights. And they say faced by women and African Americans. Right? The right to vote without y'all motherfuckers sending out y'all goons. What's called New York and all the motherfuckers. What that party was called? The Know Nothing Party. They started hiring gangs and shit. Man, I need to do a video on that. You know what I mean? Started hiring these motherfucking gangs in New York. I forget exactly what it was called as a whole. But yeah, to terrorize the polls and shit. Around the same time, around the 1850s and all that there. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. So it wasn't that they couldn't vote. If you let me tell it, it was just so much bullshit in order to vote. And so niggas like, man, fuck that. We just gonna ball on our own accord, like we've been doing under our religious order around this bitch. That's what we're gonna do. Fuck y'all system. We're gonna go under the ecclesiastic Mosaic system. The religious order. That's what they was doing to all these churches. I'm just telling you how it is. Not that they actually believe in none of it. They used it as a bond. Trust. Okay. Membership. Government. All right. Just wanted to throw that out there. So it's a women's suffrage picket 1917 and 1917 suffragists compared President Woodrow Wilson to the German Kaiser and point out the hypocrisy of his democracy rhetoric when American women could not vote. All right, so let's continue. So that's a that for you. It is the Journal of Negro History. So it's a Negro ownership of real property in Hampton in Elizabeth City County, Virginia, 1860 to 1870. So just showing y'all this so you just know that Negroes owned property back then. And all those buildings that got bumped up because it was the Civil War and all that was an attack on these people's infrastructure. All right? It's the ownership of real property, a badge of distinction between free men. Okay, listen. It's the ownership of real property, a badge of distinction between free man enslaved. All right, so that was the badge of distinction. What was? Ownership of real property. So you own real property. You know what? And I don't think real property is just is what they call it? It's restricted to land. I think real property is just real property. It's broad. It's not only just land, if I'm mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, the main idea though is what there's a distinction from a person that owns land and one that don't. One that owns land is a free man. One that don't own land is a slave, right? And it said it was especially significant to the black man during the turbulent years of Civil War and early Reconstruction, right? So why was it especially significant to the black man during the turbulent years of Civil War and early Reconstruction? Because didn't nobody know who owned what no goddamn more. People was all, man, shit. Reconstructed. People started claiming land, taking land from people, messing up their names, what they call it, dispersing everybody, splitting everybody, the families up, tearing them apart, all that type of stuff, bro. That's what was going on. Think about it. You remember how they did our folks from New Orleans and Katrina? How you had some going to Atlanta, some going to Texas, some going to Arkansas, some going to fucking Timbuktu fucking too. You know what I mean? Don't nobody know who is where. Where they really had to like get on a search, like let me check this camp. This fucking we might as well call that shit. God damn, making me think, man. I'm getting hyped, man. For real. This country band fucking camp. Because that's what it was. It was an attack on their infrastructure. Not on the people themselves. Man, it's crazy. But people knew. They heard the damn levee blow up. So it's just the same thing. They know somebody started some fires. But it's too late. It's all burning down, you know what I mean? Man, it's crazy. To put it in perspective. Reconstruction. They say this is a study of the extent to which black men could achieve the status of landowners during the crucial decade from 1860 to 1870 in Hampton and Elizabeth City County, Virginia. Situated at the southeastern tip of Virginia's peninsula on the shores of Hampton Roads and the Chesapeake Bay, Elizabeth City County in 1860 consisted of several townships and the town of Hampton, with its 100 houses and 30 businesses. While the nation was rocked by John Brown's raid at Harper's Ferry in 1859 and agitated by the presidential election of 1860, see, it was agitated, caused, right, because of the presidential election. It's a Hampton's inhabitants nervously awaited further developments under the watchful eye of the United States Army at Fort Monroe. See, nervously awaited further developments. Okay, he said of the county's estimated 5,798 inhabitants in 1860, 2,417 were Negro. Okay. So you see what they're saying here. So they just so they're saying half niggas, right? So that means the other half, the other quarter, whatever, right? The other portion of who does all these people consist of? Are there any Aboriginals there during this time? All of them kicked out or something? How many of them were just straight up white folks? How many was mixed? How many was this? How many was that? You know what I mean? And them start dwindling down real quick. So the Negroes themselves have half of the numbers that's off rip. You already know those numbers got to be tampered with. You already know. So, but if it's half, who y'all think was running things? You know, they hit you with the story like it was 1,000 niggas and 2 motherfuckers, 2 white boys get manhandled. You know, and 2 white boys manhandling 1,000 niggas. Man, nigga, please. Ain't nowhere in the hell. You think 1,000 brothers gonna allow 2, I don't give a fuck who they is, 2 anybody, to just break their folks and do this and do that, and man, stop it. Stop playing. If they was doing it, you think they were just doing it easy every day? Come on, man. Come with it. Every single a motherfucker fight you down there every day in the hood. If they got to, if you don't put it on them good enough. Come on, man. Y'all like read on my countryside coming out, you know, can't understand half shit nigga be saying. All right, check him out. This is the Monroe guy right here, man. This is Fort Monroe, right? I tapped in. I think I tapped in Fort Monroe or something like that there. But you see, it say Fort Monroe, Yosemite. So I tried to look into what Yosemite meant a little bit. I mean, I don't really want to get too deep into it, but but check this out though. I ain't peeped that. It's looking like this the Yosemite River. This could be a river called Yosemite. But yeah, anyway, where it said Cathedral Rock. All right, well, let's get on into it though. Say Fort Monroe is a historic site in the Yosemite National Park. There are no longer remnants, right? Ain't that something? There are no longer remnants. And it turned into what? A national park. And who land this is? Negro shit. Just to be honest with you. Aboriginals. That's what it is. Aboriginals. Okay? But it say the fort was not a military fort. Peep game now. What it say? The fort was not a military fort. So that's why I say a lot of these forts weren't even military forts. They were trade posts, communities, cities, fortified, and all that. When you say fort, you talk about a fortified city. Fortified, hence fort. There you go. It say, but started as a stage station. See? A stage station, traveling. A city. Hold up, that's making me think. So basically, a city is considered to be a trade station. I mean, a stage station, basically, where people go in and out all the time, traveling from this place to that place, things like that. You know, yeah, that's what's going on. I'm at the contemplate on that idea a little further amongst myself. Mm-hmm. It says various buildings were added or demolished. The general location acquired and kept the hold on. Let me start it again. It say as various buildings were added or demolished, the general location acquired and kept the name well into the automobile age. It said, okay, the general location acquired and kept. I understand the acquire had that threw me off. How do you acquire something it was already called Fort Monroe, huh? Or was it called something else? Because they wouldn't need to acquire it, it was already called that. But anyway, I guess maybe they had to go ahead and copyright the shit or whatever. I guess that's what they're trying to say. Right? They acquired and kept the name well into the automobile age. They say prior to the building of the Wawona Tunnel in 1933, the Wawona Road passed next to it. Of course, it's prior to the, okay, this wiki. All right, man. But anyway, I get what they're trying to say. All right, so afterwards, you had the Water Tunnel, of course, before that, and then they say the Wawona Road passed next to it. So the Warner Road was next to the Fort Monroe, is what they're trying to say, y'all. And they end up making a fucking tunnel. And don't forget now, they said that it ain't even there no more, the actual place. And that's unfortunate. Proved now. It said at the point where the start of Pohono Trail was located. Currently, Pohono Trail includes part of what was the old Warner Road. Now, this George Monroe now. Look at this nigga with his so-called Indian hair, right? Everybody like the wonder about. And he don't look like no motherfucking Native American that y'all see right now, super black and shit and all that kind of shit. Nah, just regular looking ass nigga. With what they would call good hair, right? Because you know you have some nappy head. His brother and his sister hair probably nappy as fuck. Who knows, huh? You know you got the good hair motherfucker, so to speak, which is really weaker hair, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But you know you got some people in the family that got the grade with a comb go through easy, and then you got other where it's hard to go through. But still brothers and sisters. We're like, hey man, where you get yours from? Huh? I'm just keeping it 101K. All right, but it's George Monroe. Fort Monroe was named for who? George F. Monroe, this nigga. Why? I wonder why. So that's a big giveaway about what's going on when they heard about this Fort Monroe stuff and all that. Y'all already see what's going on, Aboriginals, Indigenous, you know. Yeah, still indigenous regardless. For the mother motherfucker. Y'all want to say they can't $1,000 a year for whatever. How you want to say it? Because I guess they had been ran off around that time anyway, around 1830, whatever the Trail of Tears shit was. Huh? They ran off in the on the Trail of Tales and wasn't us. Speaking hypothetically, but you know, it was us. A lot of the stable who was at doing what we was doing, running things, shaking things up, and the mixed breeds, the degenerates, the one that wasn't natural, and the commoners, you know, all of them had to get somewhere. Let me tell it. Yeah, so they came up with like I said, it started burning down the cities and all that, and everybody got somewhere. All right, but yeah, let's keep going though. Pretty interesting. The Fort Monroe was named after George F. Monroe, stage driver for the Yosemite stage line. Okay, he was a driver. They say the fort was a stage team relay station. That's what the fort was. It was a stage team relay station, so that's what most of the forts were. And they say in a place where stage line customers and other travelers camped. What it say? In a place where stage line customers and other travelers camped, nigga. Like hotels and shit. You're tired, you camp out, wait for the next ride, all that. How the airports and stuff like that is, damn near. We got all kind of businesses and commerce going on, trade and all that. Yeah, man. I'm trying to widen the perspective. Can y'all see a different perspective for the ones that didn't know this here? It's crazy, huh? They say Monroe came to California with his uncle from his native Georgia. Huh? Where he come from? Where did he come from? Came to Georgia. I mean, he came from Georgia, and he went to the West Coast, he went to California to kick it with his uncle. At what time? 1856. You trying to tell me able to move around like that? They say to meet his parents, right? Who had recently moved to Mariposa as part of the gold rush. So you trying to tell me Negroes going down there to the gold rush? Huh? Somebody talk to me. So was it people that already owned the land, stuff like that, wasn't about to being trampled on and all that, how to try to make it see? Actually, yeah, they was. So trying to tell me the brothers was already doing their thing, and then other ethnic groups started peeping game and started coming down, terrorizing folks and ran them off. That was something. Okay, that's what was going on. Oh yeah, y'all find a gold around here by the boatload, huh? Y'all got mines and all that going, huh? You got oil rig, y'all got it popping. So they came over there terrorizing. I'm just gonna say that. That's how I did. Say George was 12 at the time. All right, he was 12 going out of the game. They say George's father, Lewis, became a successful barber in Mariposa. Right? Yeah, I know you do want more citation, don't you? They say, and eventually bought and lived on a prosperous ranch, right? Southeast of the town. Yeah, I know you do want more citation for that, don't you? I know you do. It said in 1866, Monroe started working for the Wabash brothers, who ran the Yazamite stage line. So whoever the Wabash is, but definitely sound original or something. I don't think I look that hard into the word Wabash. I think I did, but I don't know if I came with anything or not. Probably something I made up, so I don't know. It said eventually got promoted to driver. He was said to excel, taking the team over the treacherous road, which included many sharp drop-offs, okay, so on and so forth. Okay, but y'all know he was a driver, long story short. All right. And Fort didn't necessarily mean no goddamn shoot 'em up, bang, bang spot. You know, it's about business, commerce, trade, and all that. And I think these forts being taken over, the commerce being taken over, cities being taken over, making people leave, running people off. You know, y'all hear what's going on. I ain't got to spit it all the way out. Yeah, the history of the stage deal. I think I was trying to verify it. Was it showing the pictures and shit like that? You know, they had it on the I think I got it pulled up on another tab. But yeah, it's a guide map of the rail and stage routes to Yosemite, big trees in the desert or whatever, right? And it's off in California. But then, you know, they talk about the Fort Monroe and all that over there on the East Coast too. You know, it's kind of weird. Like, what's really going on? Yeah, that was the picture again. So I just showing more pictures of stage coaches and shit. Oh yeah, there was images for the Wash Brothers Stagecoach Company. All right, this was. So this is how this shit look. Who driving them bitches? Niggas. Who riding them? Definitely niggas. All right. So you know they're doing their thing. So that's Deadwood. You get to hear that thing going on too. You know what I mean? What they taught us and all that shit. All right. All right. So there you go. Right doing their stagecoach thing. That's how people's getting around. Like my ancient bus. Yeah, that's it for that. So I don't want to go into nothing else right now, man. I'm gonna go ahead and fall back and let that be that. Stick to that, you know what I mean? But 1861, all the type of stuff I was showing y'all and how there was something going on with the 1861 thing, man. Yeah, things looking real funny, real fishy. And I was just trying to dump this out my brain just to make sure it's documented. That yeah, I know I think something's going on with the 1861 thing. And yeah, leave your likes and share comments, whatever. You know what I mean? Definitely leave some comments. You got some more information on it that you think I should look into or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Concerning the topic. Just let me know what y'all find, because as you can see, I did a hard briefing or whatever. And just connect those dots. But yeah. What's up, everybody? So that was pretty much that. I just wanted to run it down real quick, just to let everybody know about that 1861. Shout out to everybody that came through to check me out. You know what I mean? And everybody that's going to check it out on the replay or whatnot. I just decided to give y'all some bullet points that y'all could probably like follow up on, get all the major details to orchestrate it to your own liking. You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to Mind's Eye. Yeah, what's happening, fam? Peace. You know what I mean? I'm sure everybody mentioned whatnot. All right, then we got my boy Scott. You know what I mean? What's happening, my man? He say Black Stock Market. Then we got Banish True. Salute. You know what I mean? What's the damn deal? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm laughing with you, Scott. Goddamn. You know what I mean? You know, Scott was going ham in the chat. He said, let's see what that say. He said black people were rich before Democrat MK Ultra. You know what I mean? Yeah. He say generations, then not long ago. Yeah, I like how that sounds. Deep state Confederates. You know what I mean? That's what it sounded like to me too. On some deep, when I was hearing that shit, I was like, damn, this is a whole different set of people. You know what I mean? So yeah, I pretty much agree. Like it was deep state way back then, motherfuckers undermining the movement or whatnot. All right. So then he said, I see black man wear dress, deep state, growing successful black people. It's you know what I mean? You know, let me see. Yeah. See what they say. Black people were smart and successful. You got damn right they were smart and successful. That's for sure. That's a big fact. You know what I mean? You got all the inventions and shit to prove it. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know who Russell J. Gold is, my boy. I need to look into that. You know what I mean? My mind don't, if it don't slip my mind. Yeah, proper grammar. That's right. We speak that slang on the air. All right, let's see what else in the building, man. I don't want the video to be way too long. All right, we have my boy Enox 047. Yeah, 100. Salute, bro. Show everybody, man, just in case people want to follow y'all channel. You know what I'm saying? Then we got my boy R. Cook in the building. What it do, man? What's good, Cook? Yeah, you already know Cook gonna come with his Masonic knowledge on you. So he said 1861 is coded, but y'all already know he can't tell you why. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I guess that's why it caught my attention for some reason. I was like, man, something up with this 1861 shit. What the hell going on? Then they say, George is 12, huh? He said that's coded too. Then you say the name George and the name Lewis are both foreign to these lands of the U.S. Go figure. Yeah, go figure, huh? George this, George that. A whole lot of Georges. Got a point there. Then you say Google is going to give you codes that you may not understand. You have to be a member to know. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, I already know different stuff with different things with different people. Whatever organization you in, that's how it's being rocked. The only way to know is to cross those doors. I get it. You say black people oppress themselves more than any other race or culture. Yeah, I definitely totally agree with that too. You know, I wouldn't. Nah, I couldn't necessarily agree with that. I think everybody oppress each other. To be totally 100 with you. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we definitely oppress ourselves. I can't say that in so many ways. Yeah, man. I just wanted to just run it down right quick, man. Probably gonna come right back with another one or something like that and run that one too. Y'all had did that little video. That was just like a little replay or whatever. I had already did maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago. You know what I mean? I see people jumping on it. So I like, go ahead and drop that shit and do my part. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all checking out this one. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and close it out so it might have some sort of replay value. You know what I'm saying? For the people that will check me out. I don't want to make it be too long, especially since my channel ain't that popular yet. So, yeah, man. Until the next one, I'll get with y'all. Once again, thank y'all for coming out. Peace.